Good afternoon and welcome to Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario for this afternoon's Group B matchup, the final game of the Group B at the Ray Carter Cup Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs, and we are about to bring you coverage of an all-Atlantic battle. It'll be Prince Edward Island taking on New Brunswick, the final game of Group B round-robin play for each team here in Oshawa, Ontario. Setting the stage for today's game, Prince Edward Island comes in with a record of 3 wins and 1 loss, posting victories over Newfoundland and Labrador, a 10-9 victory yesterday over Alberta, and we'll talk about the significance of that in just a moment, and also a 10-4 win over Nova Scotia to run their record to 3 wins and a loss. For New Brunswick, their record is 1 win and 3 losses. Their lone victory of the tournament to this point, a 3-0 win over Alberta, with losses to Manitoba, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland and Labrador. So this game will be New Brunswick against Prince Edward Island in just a few moments' time. The managers are coming out to the home plate area to present the lineup cards to the umpires, and PEI will be in their black jerseys, and it'll be maroon jerseys for New Brunswick. So both teams wearing dark jerseys, but hopefully enough differentiation on the colors for our viewers to tell which team is which. The home team for this game is New Brunswick. Prince Edward Island will bat first as the visitors. So we know that Prince Edward Island, Jake, is coming into this game with a record of 3-1 and entered the day in second place, or tied for first actually with Manitoba for in Group B, and the significance of that is that the top 2 teams in Group B advance to the medal round playoffs with a chance to win the overall championship.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't really matter at this point. They're in a very, very strong spot at this point. They are going to make it through to the medal round. So it's interesting to see who are they going to play and how much significance they're going to hold.
Prince Edward Island with a 3-1 record. If with another game going on right now at Clarington, a game between Manitoba taking on, and a game going on in Clarington right now against Nova Scotia. Manitoba leading that game 7-0 at last report in the 7th inning. If Manitoba wins that game, they would complete the round robin with a record of 4 wins and 1 loss and take first place in Group B. And that would put them into the semifinals automatically tomorrow, and they would face the number 1 team in Group A, and that is Team Ontario. So Manitoba looking like it's on a collision course with Ontario to play in a semifinal game tomorrow morning here in Oshawa, Ontario. Prince Edward Island, in that case, would be guaranteed to finish second place in Group B, and second place in Group B gets a ticket to the quarterfinals. And that would involve Prince Edward Island playing another game this evening at 7 o'clock Eastern Time here in Oshawa, and they would be taking on the host team, the Oshawa Legionnaires, which will finish in 3rd place in Group A. So PEI, as Jake, you mentioned, this is a game they're playing here against New Brunswick, but they will be playing a quarterfinal game. If that Manitoba score holds against Nova Scotia, they'll be playing a quarterfinal game tonight. So you want to keep everyone as fresh as possible and keep all of your pitching as much of it as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I think the entire mindset going into this point, I believe PEI coming into this, I was talking to the coach on Thursday, and he was incredibly confident about his team going into it. And it looks like their strategy so far is to conserve pitching as much as possible and not just kind of throw everyone out there, wherever they go, they go. They've kept their players to, past few days to a 65 limit, which indicates is only a 2-day rest, keeping them ready for Saturday and for Sunday.
And that they do have a shot to go very deep into this tournament with a quarterfinal date in all likelihood tonight against Oshawa, and a win there would put them into the semifinals. So Prince Edward Island with a lot going for them so far in this tournament, a 3-1 record. And we talked moments ago about their game yesterday against Alberta, a game played here at Kinsman Stadium, and that was a 10-9 victory for PEI in a game where PEI took a 9-1 lead and then saw the lead eventually evaporate and into a 9-9 game as Alberta fought back to tie it at 9-9. but then PEI winning that game with a run in the 7th and final inning to take it 10-9, and that's a significant victory because that clinches any kind of tiebreaker against Alberta in the event that Alberta wins its final game. Actually, Alberta did win its final game 3-1 over Newfoundland and Labrador, so they're 3-2, but PEI holds the tiebreaker over Alberta due to its win yesterday 10-9. So Prince Edward Island in a good position here at the Ray Carter Cup. We're about to get set for today's game, reminding you that the sponsors for the Ray Carter Cup are MLB, Major League Baseball, Toronto Blue Jays, Baseball Canada, Dairy Queen, Kahunaverse Sports Group, Rawlings, Mizuno, SportsCanada.TV, Durham College, Residence Conference Centers, GCBS Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, TorontoCharters.com, and MyCore Insurance. So, in this game, Prince Edward Island will be the visitors, so New Brunswick will take the field defensively in just a moment as the home team. The starting pitcher this afternoon will be Dmitry Shikatko. He'll be caught by Mikhail Logier. The infield looks like this: Nicolas Bourque at first base, Max Jardine at second, Julien Bourgeois at short, and Ryan Galbraith at third base. The left fielder will be Zachary Duguay. Miguel Leblanc is in center field, and the right fielder will be Drew Lenihan. And you may have just caught that on the sound there. Manitoba did defeat Nova Scotia by a score of 7-1. So Manitoba is the number 1 seed in Group B and advances automatically to the semifinals. And that result clinches a spot in the quarterfinals this evening for this Prince Edward Island team about to take the field against New Brunswick. So PEI will play at 7 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Atlantic tonight against the host Oshawa Legionnaires in a quarterfinal match here at Kinsman Stadium. So good afternoon to all of our viewers in Atlantic Canada, where it is now 3:30 Atlantic time, and hoping you're going to enjoy this game between New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Let's look at the rundown or the lineup for PEI. It'll be Declan Campbell, the first baseman, leading things off. He'll be followed by Chris McDougall at third. Brandon Langley is the EH or extra hitter. Caden Doyle will pitch for Prince Edward Island this afternoon. He'll bat fourth. Miles Grant is in left field, batting fifth. The catcher, Sam Worth, will bat sixth. Right fielder Nolan Stewart follows him in the number 7 slot. Colby Huggan at short will bat 8th. Grayson Laporte will bat 9th at second base, and the 10-hitter will be the center fielder Owen Lynch. So Dmitry Shikatko comes onto the field, the right-hander for New Brunswick, taking the mound, as New Brunswick will be looking for a victory here this afternoon to try and get its record to 2 wins and 3 losses.
I think it's going to be a tough game for both sides here. You know, I know at PEI, they've been pretty decent at scoring runs early and often, but I mean, it'll be up to see what they can hold up to today.
Prince Edward Island in this tournament with 31 runs scored, 31 runs in 4 games. So yes, that's absolutely right, Jake. They have been swinging the bats and putting up the runs, and that's a big part of the reason why they have a record of 3-1. Their only loss in the tournament to Manitoba, which we just mentioned, clinched the group. They lost an extra innings game, 6-5 to Manitoba. Shikatko is ready to go, and his first pitch is in there for a strike to the leadoff hitter, Declan Campbell. First baseman for PEI. PEI in the black jerseys, the maroon jerseys for New Brunswick this afternoon. That ball is in play over to third base. Ryan Galbraith will throw it over to first and record the out. So 2 pitches in the first out of the ball game as Declan Campbell grounds out. So 1 away here, top half of the first inning. Prince Edward Island batting. Chris McDougall will be the batter now, playing third base in this game this afternoon for PEI. Dmitry Shikatko misses with that pitch. It's ball 1. Dmitry from Fredericton. The 1-0 pitch is fouled away. Ball and a strike. His catcher is Michael Logier from Dieppe, New Brunswick. You might be hearing a very energetic Prince Edward Island dugout making some noise just to our broadcast to the right of our broadcast location here on the right side of the infield. We're just, you can't see us on the screen, but we're just on the first base side near the first base dugout, which is occupied by Prince Edward Island. And it's a good thing we're wearing headsets, Jake.
Yeah, thank goodness for that one. Even through the headset, I can still hear them going at it, but you know what? We'll see.
They're enthusiastic, of course, as all of the teams are here at the Ray Carter Cup here in Oshawa, Ontario. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chris McDougall. Nobody on the bases, 1 away here. We're in the top half of the first. That ball is in play. It's hit to short. Julien Bourgeois will come up with it. No, he doesn't. Slips out of his glove. Thought he had to play it first. McDougall is safe at first, and there's a base runner with 1 away.
Now, I'm wondering right now, would that be ruled an error, or that's going to be an infield single? I'm not really too sure, because it looked like he was going to beat it out there, McDougall was. But I mean, it'll be up to the scorers to say what they have there.
It's always a close call, and you try and be as objective as possible as a scorer, but there's always a lot of gray area when it's a hit or an error. But that one could have gone either way. That ball's in the dirt, and McDougall is going to get down to second base as the ball got away from the catcher, Michael Logier. So it's a wild pitch, and a runner now at second with 1 away for PEI.
Great work by McDougall there. He saw that right away going down and bouncing out.
Brandon Langley is the batter for PEI, right-handed hitter, the EH or the extra hitter in the lineup today. Ball's in the dirt, 2-0. Dmitry Shikatko pitching for New Brunswick this afternoon. Runner at second, 1 away. Count is 2 balls and no strikes. And Langley sees that go in the dirt. Logier picks it up, making sure that Chris McDougall does not take off from second and try for third. Count those 3-0. So definitely Langley in the driver's seat here. That ball is in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher. Logier trying to pick it up. He gets it and runs it back into the plate. It's a 4-pitch walk for Brandon Langley. He goes down to first, and on the wild pitch, Chris McDougall comes down to third. So it's runners in the corners now for PEI with 1 away.
This is already interesting. Shitoko is a little bit wild to start this game off. Hopefully he can find his rhythm and find the zone.
It'll be Caden Doyle now, the pitcher this afternoon for PEI coming up. He's batting cleanup. Looks down for his signals. He's got runners at the corners with 1 away. No score, just underway here. PEI batting against New Brunswick. Dmitry Shikatko. That ball is in the dirt, and a nice block by Logier there on a very tough pitch that bounced right in front of the plate, and Logier had to be really careful there.
5 straight. Looks like Shikatko, he really just needs to raise his sights here. He keeps aiming right into the dirt. Aim right at the catcher's mask. That's probably what he's going to help him out.
1-0. That pitch is low. 2-0. Prince Edward Island threatening here in the top half of the first inning. It began with a quick ground out by Declan Campbell, but since then we've had a base hit and a walk and a couple of wild pitches. So runners on the corners. Third baseman Ryan Galbraith is going to come out now to talk to his pitcher. And now the catcher comes out, and they're going to speak things. We saw this happen a couple times yesterday in games involving, and we were calling it a little bit of a tea party there out at on the mound just to get everybody settled down.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what? When it gets in these big games like this, sometimes you just really forget to breathe, relax. Just another game, albeit an important one. Just another game.
The 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike, so whatever the teammate said, that really worked for Dmitry Shikatko. Count is 2 balls and a strike now to Caden Doyle. 21 degrees Celsius here in Oshawa this afternoon. That pitch is in the dirt, and it's a wild pitch. It gets away, and that will score Chris McDougall from third with the first run of the ball game. Brandon Langley goes down to second on a wild pitch. 1-0 PEI. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Caden Doyle, a runner at second now for PEI with 1 away. Pitch is inside for ball 4. Caden Doyle takes a walk down to first base. Runners at first and second now, 1 away, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Miles Grant.
I'm a little bit surprised that New Brunswick hasn't at least come out to have a little bit of a chat with the pitcher here. Chakotko here is still being a little bit wild. I think right now he just needs to calm down and relax.
Miles Grant will step in, the right-handed hitter. Chicago's pitch is hammered to left center. That is a base hit. That is going to score at least 1 run. Coming in to score is Brandon Langley. And getting back to third is Caden Doyle. It is an RBI double for Miles Grant. 2-0 PEI. So 2 runs in here, and that will bring out the coaching staff for New Brunswick here, as Dmitry Shikotko has given up a couple of hits and a couple of walks here in the top of the first inning, and PEI with 2 runs in, and runners at second and third, and still just 1 out. Another factor, and it's a beautiful sunny day here in Oshawa, Ontario. We've seen the wind blowing in for most of the games here at the stadium, but this afternoon the wind has shifted directions and it's now blowing out as we look at the flags behind home plate. So the wind it's not a strong wind, but there certainly is a wind that is favoring the batter here in terms of getting it to the outfield, which is a change from what we've seen so far this weekend.
You know what, for the entire weekend, and for at least the games I've been here, it's been blowing in from left field right to home plate, and it's been heavy too at points.
Sam Worth fouls off the first pitch for strike 1 from Dmitry Shikotko. The catcher for PEI looking to tack on more here, as we've seen PEI explode a number of times for multiple runs in innings. That ball is in play to third base. Ryan Galbraith will come home with it, and unable to complete the tag. Loge had it in his glove, and it was knocked out, or it came out of his glove as Caden Doyle came home. He did not slide, and the collision knocked the ball away. And that's an RBI as Caden Doyle comes in to score. 3-0 PEI.
A really interesting decision from Galbraith there. Throw the ball home. Would not have expected that. I would think they would have gone trade the run for the out.
So it's a fielder's choice RBI for Sam Worth. 3-0 PEI. As Caden Doyle comes in with the third run. Nolan Stewart will be the batter now, the right fielder for Prince Edward Island, with runners at the corners, 1 away. In a big first inning here already for PEI. He squares to bunt, takes it back. They will not throw on that, as taking second base and stealing second is Sam Worth. So they were, New Brunswick, waiting to see if the runner from third would come, and Loge did not release the ball. So second and third now with 1 out.
And the New Brunswick defense looks like they are going to trade the run for the out. Defense is back.
0-1 pitch is in there for a strike from Dmitry Shikotko. Count is 0-2. New Brunswick in need of an out here for sure. 3 runs in already. Shikotko with the 0-2 pitch is hit to the right side to the second baseman. Max Jardin will throw out the batter, but it's a ground out. And an RBI for Nolan Stewart as Miles Grant comes in to score. It's 4-0 PEI. Nolan Stewart doing his job getting a ball in play there with a runner at third and less than 2 out. Sam Worth comes to third on that RBI. 4-0, 2 away.
Yeah, that was a great piece of hitting by Stewart there. Hitting the ball to the right side and essentially ensures that run is going to score.
So it'll be Colby Huggan, the shortstop now. A runner at third with 2 away. 4 runs in for PEI here in the top of the first. Colby Huggan is the shortstop. Count is 0-1. That pitch misses, 1-1. Dmitry Shikotko has now thrown 24 pitches in the inning. 4 runs in. There have been 2 hits, a couple of walks, and a couple of wild pitches. That pitch just misses, ball 2, 2-1.
Yeah, definitely not the start New Brunswick was looking for. But that's a game of baseball.
New Brunswick in the maroon uniforms. Chicago's pitch is lifted to left field. Zachary Duguay should be there. He's got it to catch and retire the side. But 4 runs on 2 hits for PEI, and there is a runner left. We've played half an inning. It's Prince Edward Island 4, New Brunswick coming to bat. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup. Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Going to the home half of the first here, New Brunswick coming to bat, trailing 4-0 against Prince Edward Island. They will face right-hander Caden Doyle, who will take the mound for PEI in this ball game. Sam Worth will be the catcher. Declan Campbell will play first base. Grayson Laporte at second. Colby Huggan at short. And the third baseman is Chris McDougall. In the outfield, from left to right, it is Miles Grant, Owen Lynch, and Nolan Stewart. And also in the lineup for PEI in this game, they are batting with the EH, the extra hitter, who does not play a defensive role but remains in the lineup as a batter. The extra hitter is number 32, Brandon Langley for PEI. So we'll go to the bottom of the first here. The leadoff hitter for New Brunswick will be the second baseman, number 20, Max Jardine. You'll see him come into your screen in just a moment. A loud first inning for PEI with 4 runs scored. Looking to move its round-robin record to 4-1. Max Jardine from Miramichi, New Brunswick, will come to the plate, bat from the left side. He'll be followed by Julien Bourgeois and the pitcher, Dmitry Shikotko. First pitch is a ball from Caden Doyle. And there's a strike. Caden Doyle throws that in there. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Max Jardine. The 1-1 pitch swung on a miss, strike 2.
That looked like some sort of off spin. I'm not sure what that was, but it almost looked like a splitter.
Has Jardine out in front. Count is a ball and 2 strikes. Caden Doyle will see that ball chopped to the left side. It's a foul ball. And Jardine will have to come back and do it all over again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. New Brunswick with the mountain to climb out of, or climb up rather, here in the early going against PEI. They trail 4-0 in the bottom of the first. Jardine, the first batter of the ball game for New Brunswick. That's in the dirt. It is ball 2. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Max Jardine. Off speed, too high. 3-2, count runs full.
You saw Doyle there release the ball almost like he was aiming it there. He's not going to get anything going with that. He's have to throw it 100%.
Here's the payoff pitch. It's outside. It gets away from the catcher, Sam Worth. Goes to the backstop. It's a walk, a leadoff walk for Max Jardine, and that's exactly what New Brunswick is looking for in this ball game. They need some base runners to start clawing back out of a 4-0 deficit. Julien Bourgeois will come up now, the shortstop for New Brunswick. Will bat second with a runner at first, nobody away. Another left-handed batter, as Caden Doyle will fire that in and miss it. Ball one. Again, Prince Edward Island has qualified to play tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time in a quarterfinal match against the host Oshawa Legionnaires here at the Ray Carter Cup. Caden's pitch is in for a strike, 1-1. One ball, one strike to Julien Bourgeois, shortstop in this game for New Brunswick. The base runner is Max Jardine. We'll keep an eye on him. Early in the ball game, New Brunswick trying to get back in. A swing and a miss there from Bourgeois. It is 1-2. Caden Doyle now, the 1-2 count to Julien Bourgeois. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. It's in the dirt. They'll throw back down to first, and getting back just in time is Max Jardine, as Sam Worth tried to catch him asleep on the base pass. It's a strikeout, first of the ball game for Caden Doyle, and that will bring up the pitcher, Dmitry Shikatko. Number 3 hitter. They'll check the runner back to first. Jardine back in plenty of time. 4 runs for New Brunswick in the top of the first. 4 runs for PEI in the top of the first. New Brunswick batting now here in the bottom half. That ball is popped up to the third baseman. Chris McDougall is under it. Easy catch for him, 2 away. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, the third baseman, number 23, Ryan Galbraith. From New Brunswick's standpoint, Jake, you're down 4 runs early. Can't get it all back at once. Just try and chip away.
Yeah, that's what surprised me right away from New Brunswick, is that Bourgeois did not bunt to advance runner second. Even if it was like a drag bunt situation, usually have a bit of speed in the top of the lineup. Try and test it. Get something going.
That ball's in the dirt. Sam Worth with a nice block there to ensure that didn't get past. Ball 1 to Ryan Galbraith. Galbraith from St. John. He's the cleanup hitter. He will look at that ball. It bounces away from Sam Worth, and that's going to allow Max Jardine. That went right off the shin pad of the catcher. So now a runner in scoring position with 2 away. It's a 2-0 count to Ryan Galbraith. Nicolas Bourque, the first baseman, awaits on deck. Caden Doyle with a 2-0 count, fires that in. That's in the dirt, and another block by Sam Worth. He's had to block several of them here in this first inning.
He's already taken a beating back there.
So the count now 3-0 to Ryan Galbraith. Runner at second, 2 away here for New Brunswick in the bottom of the first. Caden Doyle looking back and forth. He throws it in. It's a green light situation there for Galbraith. He fouls it back, the 3-0 pitch. Now 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I did not expect Galbraith to swing a 3-0 count. You'd expect 99% of the time they're just going to wait, let one go by, and then start their at-bat.
3 balls and a strike now to Galbraith, and time is called by the umpire. Sometimes the time elapses, everybody's set to go, and then the seconds go by, everybody resets here. 3-1. That pitch is hammered to right field. It's carrying, and the right fielder, though, is able to catch it. It is Nolan Stewart, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So New Brunswick unable to score. They strand a base runner. We've played one here in Oshawa, Ontario at Kinsman Stadium. New Brunswick trailing Prince Edward Island by a score of 4-0. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Bienvenue à tous au Nouveau-Brunswick. Merci de faire partie de l'émission du match d'aujourd'hui au championnat national de moins de 15 ans de la Coupe Ray Carter, ici à Oshawa, Ontario. Good afternoon to everyone, including our viewers in New Brunswick, watching their team take on Prince Edward Island here in this Group B match at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. We go to the second inning. It's a 4-0 lead for PEI as the Islanders come up here for the top of the second, wearing the black jerseys, maroon jerseys for New Brunswick. 4 runs on 2 hits in the first inning for PEI. No runs on no hits yet for New Brunswick. They stranded a walk back in their half of the bottom of the first inning. So it'll be Grayson Laporte, second baseman, coming to the plate. His first at bat of the ball game. His team up 4-0. And he puts that ball in play. It looks like it go up the middle. Nice play by the shortstop, throwing to first, and it's just out of the reach, or has to come off the bag. The first baseman had to come off the bag there. That was Nicolas Bourque trying to snag that from Julien Bourgeois. He made a nice snag behind second base and tried to fire it over to first. A real tough play, and a very fast Grayson Laporte beats that out for an infield single.
Yeah, that was a great try there. Almost out him.
So it's Owen Lynch now, the batter for PEI, and the coach for New Brunswick will come out to talk to Dmitry Shakatko. Maybe just a quick adjustment here, as maybe he saw something on that first at-bat in this inning by Grayson Laporte. And it's a very short visit, and he's going back to the dugout now. So runner on first, nobody away here, top of the second, 4-0 PEI. Owen Lynch batting in the 10 slot in this ball game for PEI. We've seen him as the leadoff hitter in other games so far in this tournament, batting now in the 10 slot. Runner at first, let's see what he does. Not swinging, not showing any kind of bunt, and it's a ball from Shakatko, 1-0.
I don't expect PEI.
Throw to first. Back in time is Laporte. Sorry, Jake.
No, I don't expect PEI to be playing small ball at this point. As of right now, they are in. The only thing small ball I may see is they may bunt once or twice just to kind of practice it for the big games tonight and tomorrow.
Ball is lifted to the outfield, and it is going to drop in front of the center fielder, Miguel LeBlanc. He did not get a good read on that, or the wind pushed it down. Either way, it's a base hit for Owen Lynch. 2 on now for PEI here in the top of the second inning. Nobody out.
Now batting first baseman number 29, Declan Campbell.
Again, the wind is blowing out in this game. Declan Campbell, the leadoff hitter, comes up now with runners first and second, nobody out. PEI already up 4-0. Shows bunt, takes it back. Did he go? And he did not go. So the bunt attempt was taken back just in time. It's a 1-0 count to Declan Campbell. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Grounded out to third to lead off the game. Let's see if he shows bunt again here with runners first and second and nobody out. Shakatko steps off. Base runners have to return. First and second. Owen Lynch at first, Grayson Laporte at second. Chicago's pitch is bunted. It is going to roll foul on the left field side, down the third baseline. So the count goes to 1-1.
Not a bad bunt, just a little bit too powerful.
So Campbell will get back into the batter's box. Looks down for the signal. He's got it. Count is 1-1 strike. Shows, no, he doesn't. Does not show bunt that time. Takes a ball in the dirt, 2-1. Sometimes you can see batters show bunt all the way, and sometimes they change things in the middle of an at-bat. 2-1 is the count. That ball sails outside, 3-1. Chicago missing with that one. Not happy with himself. Three balls, one strike to Declan Campbell. Pitch is hit into the hole between third and short. That's a base hit. That is going to score Grayson Laporte all the way from second. It is 5-0 PEI. An RBI single for Declan Campbell.
Well, another great piece of hitting from Prince Edward Island. 3-1 count. I knew it was going to be a fastball count. Got a fastball up in the zone and just tore it apart.
Runners still at first and second. One run in here, nobody out. Top of the fifth, or top of the second rather. 5-0 is the score. And it is Chris McDougall. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. Singled and scored the first run. Shows bunt. Takes it back. The runners go. And it is a double steal. Owen Lynch down to third. Declan Campbell over to second.
Great spot for McDougall now to cash in 2 runs here.
Pitch was a strike. So the count is 0-1 to Chris McDougall. Runners at second and third. Nobody out here for Prince Edward Island. That pitch is in there for a strike. 0-2.
As we're looking down the left field line, New Brunswick is starting to get 2 people warm. Or could just be 1, my apologies.
The 0-2 pitch misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 run in here in the Prince Edward Island second inning. Owen Lynch at third, Declan Campbell at second. Chris McDougall is the batter. 1-2 is the count, and that pitch misses. 2-2. It's a 5-0 ball game for PEI. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed for strike 3. First strikeout of the ball game for Dimitri Chicago, and that's the first out of the second inning. It'll bring up Brandon Langley, the EH, the extra hitter. He walked in the first inning and scored PEI's second run of the game. Runners at second and third, 1 away. That pitch is hit hard to short. Julien Bourgeois will go over to first for the out, and coming in to score is Owen Lynch. So it's an RBI ground out for PEI, and it's a 6-0 ball game.
Now batting pitcher number 93, Caden Doyle.
Declan Campbell came down to third on that RBI. And Caden Doyle, the pitcher, will now be the batter. He walked and scored in the first inning for Prince Edward Island. Takes a ball from Dimitri Chicago. That's a 6-0 ball game. 2 away here in the top of the second. That pitch looks like it's in there for a strike. It is. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, the offense for PEI has certainly come out strong here again today, Brian.
Yeah, we've been talking about them scoring a lot of runs so far in the tournament. That pitch is in. Nope. That pitch catches the inside part of the plate. It's 1-2. Caden Doyle looked a little surprised at the result of the call there. 1-2. Yeah, 31 runs scored in the first 4 games for PEI, and they have 6 more here. Caden Doyle holds his swing there, checks it, count as 2 balls and 2 strikes. Base runner at third here is Declan Campbell. 6-0 is the score. Caden Doyle will put that in play, and that's in through the hole past third base. That will be another run as Declan Campbell comes in on an RBI single by Caden Doyle. 7-0 PEI. Fourth hit of the inning for PEI. 7-0 is the score. And the batter is the left fielder, Miles Grant. He doubled and scored back in the first inning. 1 for 1 in the game. Runner at first here with 2 away for PEI. They're up 7-0 here in the second inning. That ball is in play down the right field line. It's a fair ball. That will send Caden Doyle all the way to third. It's a base hit. 5th of the inning for Miles Grant. Runners at the corners now, 2 away for the catcher, Sam Worth.
That ball was stung down the right field line. No chance for the first baseman, Bork, there.
Seven hits in the ball game for Prince Edward Island. 7 runs in. Runners at first and third. New Brunswick trying to limit this here as best as they can. Dmitry Shikatko is now up at 47 pitches in the ball game with 2 out here in the second inning. And now we're going to see a mound visit. And we might be seeing a pitching change here, Jake. I believe this is the second visit of the inning, is it not?
I'm not too sure. Regardless, he's taking the ball.
So Dmitry Shikatko will come out of the ball game. Gets a good round of applause here from all of the fans at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs here for this final Group B round-robin game between New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. So new pitcher in the ball game. It looks like it's Waylon Matchett. The right-hander will come on for New Brunswick. So he'll take his warm-ups. So as this game continues here between New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, there is one other game, one last round robin game to be played. It's a Group A game taking place at Clarington Fields, about a 20-minute drive east of us here in Oshawa, Ontario. And that is a game between Team Ontario 3-0 against Team Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan 0-3 in the tournament so far. Team Ontario 3-0 and has locked down the first place berth in Group A. So Saskatchewan Ontario will take that. That game should be underway now. There was the game earlier between Manitoba and Nova Scotia ran a little bit later, and they were pushed back by a game earlier this morning between Ontario and Quebec that went 10 innings. 3 extra innings between Quebec and Ontario. Ontario won that game in 10 innings by a score of 11-8 to clinch first place in the A group of the tournament and an automatic ticket to the semifinals. So we're ready to go here. Waylon Matchett on the mound now for New Brunswick. Runners at first and third, 2 away. 7-0 is the score. Sam Worth will be at the plate. He hits that to left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. That will score Caden Doyle from third. They're going to try and send the runner to third, and that is successful as Sam Worth goes into second. 8-0 is the score. The beat goes on for PEI. So that's the second RBI of the ball game for Sam Worth. Runners second and third, 2 out now. Nolan Stewart, the batter, the right fielder, takes that pitch for a ball from Waylon Matchett. 8-0 Prince Edward Island. They are pouring the offense on here in the early going. Swing and a miss. Big cut from Nolan Stewart. Count is 1-1.
Watch it when we saw in the warm-up throws, and even for the first 3 or 4 he's thrown here, he can bring it a bit. He can definitely get the velocity up there.
That pitch is lifted to center field, and it is caught by the center fielder, Miguel Leblanc, for the final out of the inning. 4 more runs here in the second inning for Prince Edward Island to make it an 8-0 ball game. We've played an inning and a half. New Brunswick coming to bat in just a moment. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. So we're going to the bottom of the second inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs as New Brunswick taking on Prince Edward Island in their final Group B round-robin game here at the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships. PEI 3-1 coming into this game and having clinched a quarterfinal berth in the playoffs. They will take on Oshawa tonight, the host team, at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Atlantic, right here at Kinsman Stadium. But right now they are completing their round-robin part of the tournament against New Brunswick, and they have an 8-0 lead coming into the bottom of the second inning as Nicolas Bourque, first baseman for New Brunswick, comes to the plate, hammers that ball to right field, and that's a base hit. Nicolas Bourque will see that just go over Grayson Laporte's glove at second base, and it's the first hit of the ball game for New Brunswick. So solid contact there for Bourque. He's at first, and Drew Lanahan will come out now, number 9, playing position number 9, right field for New Brunswick in this ball game. They'll check the runner back to first, and Bourque is in through the dirt. 8-0 is the score. New Brunswick looking to get something going, anything of any kind here in the second inning. As Lanahan takes that pitch from Caden Doyle, it's away, ball 1.
At this point for PEI, it's just all about, getting your work in. You got an 8-0 lead. Don't do anything stupid to sacrifice it.
Ball is hit to right field. Nolan Stewart is there for Prince Edward Island. He catches it for the first out of the inning. So Lanahan is out, and that'll bring up the EH, the extra hitter, Noah Wall. Now, yesterday we saw a game here at Kinsman Stadium. Prince Edward Island had a 9-1 lead in the early going against Alberta and lost that lead. They went from 9-1 to 9-9. Ended up winning the game 10-9, but they had an 8-run lead and saw it evaporate, so they don't want to see something like that happen again because they have an 8-run lead once again.
Yeah, I think yesterday they learned their lesson. They made a lot of miscues, and they sort of just let them creep back into the ball game. They took their foot off the gas pedal and said, we'll coast. We'll see what happens here, and it ended up costing them. Swing
and a miss there from Noah Wall. Count is 0-2. Caden Doyle, starting pitcher for PEI, remains in the ball game with looks like 23 pitches so far.
Yep.
Runner at first here for New Brunswick with 1 out in the bottom of the second. Pitch is fouled off, and then it hits the catcher. And Noah Wall stays alive. Count remains 0-2. Zachary Duguay is the batter on deck for New Brunswick. PEI looking for a double play here. Noah Wall looking for a base hit to advance Nicolas Bourque into scoring position. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. It's in the dirt for strike 3. First base occupied. No chance to run down there, 2 out.
Great off speed there. It looked like it was a changeup there. It just kind of fell off the table. Great movement on that.
So that is the second strikeout of the ball game for Caden Doyle. And there are 2 out here in the New Brunswick second inning. And they'll check the runner once again. Nicolas Bourque is back in. Runner at first, 2 out for Zachary Duguay, the left fielder for New Brunswick. He'll hit that ball hard to the outfield. The outfielder is there in right field. No, he drops it. Nolan Stewart lost it in the sun. Ball drops. New Brunswick is going to send the runner home. We're going to have a play at the plate. Slide, and he is out.
Wow.
Throw in for Sam Worth applying the tag as New Brunswick gambled and tried to score all the way from first. Nicolas Bourque is out at the plate, and the score remains 8-0. The inning is over. Couple of hits for New Brunswick, but they are unable to score. We've played 2. The score here in this game, Group B, it is 8-0 in favor of Prince Edward Island. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Going to the third inning now. Prince Edward Island with an 8-0 lead over New Brunswick. Here in Oshawa, Ontario, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. Good afternoon to all of our viewers on SportsCanada.TV. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs as we go to the top of the third inning, and Prince Edward Island with an 8-0 lead. New Brunswick almost scoring there in the home half of the second as Zachary Duguay hit a ball to right field that looked to have been caught, and then it was dropped by Nolan Stewart. So it dropped in on the error, but then Nolan Stewart picked up and threw a strike home to home plate to get Nicolas Bourque trying to score all the way from first to end the inning. So a tough play and then a great play.
You know what? That was probably the best throw of the tournament right there. He was like in good medium right field right there and threw a strike right to the catcher. Great play.
Colby Huggan will be the leadoff hitter for Prince Edward Island here in the third inning. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game, flied out to left field in the first. 8 runs on 8 hits so far for PEI. That ball is hit to center field, and battling the Seagulls out there as well as the sun is Miguel LeBlanc for the first out of the inning.
Now batting second base number 25, Grayson.
Yeah, a couple of Seagulls out there playing defensively maybe out there. We see that sometimes here at Kinsman Stadium. Seagulls like to enjoy the game, and they've got a good seat.
Yeah, got the best one in the house.
Grayson Laporte is the batter now for PEI. With 1 away here in the top of the third, Laporte singled and scored in the second inning to lead things off. Fouls that pitch away. The count is a ball and a strike. Waylon Matchett is the pitcher for New Brunswick. Came into the ball game in relief of Dmitry Shakotko. That ball is fouled away. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Waylon Matchett from Trout Brook, New Brunswick. That ball is hit hard to left field, but the left fielder is there. That's Zachary Duguay with the catch. 2 out.
Now batting center fielder number 26, Owen Lynch.
It's a couple of well-hit balls here to lead off the third inning, but a couple of good catches by the New Brunswick defense. 2 away. That'll bring up Owen Lynch. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game, singled and scored in the second. Matchett's pitch is in there for strike 1. That pitch is hit hard to center field. Backpedaling is Miguel LeBlanc. He's not going to get it. It's over his head. Owen Lynch will go all the way to second with a 2-out double for Prince Edward Island. And we've talked about the wind blowing out this afternoon. It's been blowing in all weekend long, but in this game the wind is blowing toward the outfield, so that favors the hitter, and Miguel LeBlanc gave it an effort, but it just went right over his head.
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what I think happened there, is that when the outfielder went for that one, the wind there just kind of blew it over his head.
So that turns the lineup over as leadoff hitter Declan Campbell comes in with a runner at second and 2 out. Declan Campbell 1 for 2 in the ball game, singled and scored in the second. 8-0 Prince Edward Island here in the top of the third. That pitch is swung at it, missed for strike 2. Good pitch there from Matchett.
Yeah, great pitch there. It actually looked like a slider almost. Dropped right out away for his bat.
Count is 0-2 to Declan Campbell. That ball is in play, and it's through the hole between third and short, and Owen Lynch is going to come all the way around to score the 9th run for PEI. And the throw, Declan Campbell advances all the way to second. It's 9-0. So it's an RBI for Declan Campbell, and that'll bring up Chris McDougall, the third baseman.
Now batting third baseman number 46, Chris McDougall.
Swing and a miss from McDougall, strike 1. McDougall is 1 for 2 in the ball game, singled and scored in the first. Was a strikeout victim of Dmitry Shikotko in the second. Pitch is hit hard, but down the left field line and foul. PEI really starting to make some good contact on some of these offerings.
Yeah, they really are. They have a really great approach coming up to the plate. Only going after fastballs, so it seems. They're really killing the fastball.
So the count is 0-2 now to Chris McDougall. 2 away here in the top of the third. Prince Edward Island, 9. New Brunswick, no score. Runner at second here with 2 away. Waylon Matchett on the mound. Will fire that in, and it just misses for ball 1. So Chris McDougall will now have a 1-2 count. Matchett's pitch is swung at and missed for strike 3. So that is the first strikeout of the ball game for Waylon Matchett, and it concludes the top of the third inning. 1 run on 2 hits and 1 runner left on base. So we've played 2.5 innings here at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. It is Prince Edward Island 9, New Brunswick no score. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. So off we go to the bottom of the third inning here at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. And it looks like we have a new pitcher for Prince Edward Island here to pitch here in the home half of the third inning. New Brunswick trailing by a score of 9-0. And it looks like Luke Coughlin will come into the game to pitch for PEI and will take over for Caden Doyle, who started the game. So number 5, Luke Coughlin from Charlottetown and a student at Stone Park Intermediate School. One of the younger players in the tournament. He's a 2005. Just turned 14 back in April. So Luke Coughlin will take over on the mound. His team is ahead 9-0 here, going to the bottom of the third inning. Michael Logier will bat, the catcher for New Brunswick. Swings and misses at the first pitch from Luke Coughlin. Strike one. The 0-1 pitch is outside, gets away from the catcher, 1-1. One pitch is just off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Luke Coughlin pitching here for his team as Prince Edward Island tries to preserve as much pitching as possible, as they will have another game at 8 o'clock Atlantic tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, in a quarterfinal game against the host team, the Oshawa Legionnaires. Oshawa finishing 3rd in Group A to earn a quarterfinal berth, as Coughlin is high with that pitch, and it's ball 4. So it's a leadoff walk. And Michael Logier is a base runner here with nobody out in the third inning, and that will bring up the center fielder, number 6, Miguel LeBlanc.
Now batting center fielder number 6, Miguel LeBlanc.
He's the number 10 hitter in the lineup for New Brunswick, so this is first plate appearance of the game. Coughlin will fire that in for a strike, 0-1. As mentioned, PEI will play a quarterfinal game. PEI assured of finishing 2nd in Group B, so that is a ticket to the quarterfinal, and they will draw Oshawa in a quarterfinal game tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Atlantic. That ball is hit hard to the shortstop, stepping on first for 1, and over to first for a double play. Colby Huggan grabbing that one. That was a tailor-made double play. As he gets it and moves the ball, his momentum carries him right to second base for the force out, and then a throw over to first to double off Miguel LeBlanc. So it's a double play, 2 out.
And you know, the crappy thing about that is LeBlanc hit that on the screws. He hit that ball hard. It was hit right to the shortstop, Huggin there, and he just took it and fired over to first. Everything is going PEI's way at this point.
So the pitcher, or the batter, will now be Max Jardine, the leadoff hitter for New Brunswick. Jersey number 20. He walked in the first inning. Fouls that off the left side near the scorer's booth. It hits the scorer's booth with a thud. Count is 1-1. Yeah, in baseball, you know, sometimes you can hit the ball so hard and you have nothing to show for it, and sometimes you don't hit it well and you're on first or second base.
Exactly. You know, that's a crappy thing about baseball. You can hit on the screws, and sometimes it just does not pan out.
So it's a 1-1 count here to Max Jardine. New Brunswick trailing 9-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Pitch is high and tight. Ducking out of the way is Jardine. It's a ball, 2-1. That pitch is swung at and missed for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luke Coughlin on the mound for PEI. New Brunswick in this tournament, 1 win and 3 losses. Their lone victory coming over Alberta, a 3-0 win on Thursday. The 2-2 pitch is fouled away. We'll do it again. Losses on Thursday to Manitoba 3-0 and losses yesterday to Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and Labrador. So nobody on the base paths here. Double play erased the leadoff walk by Mikhail Logier. And Max Jardine now with a 2-2 count against Luke Coughlin. That ball is popped to the left side, and it's not going to be caught. It lands in foul territory, but no one with a chance to catch that. We'll do it again.
One heck of a battle by Jardine here. Going into the 8th pitch, I believe.
That's what you want to do as a leadoff hitter. You want to try and show the way for your rest of your team.
Exactly.
Try and get something going. Be a leader out there as best you can, and even a good at bat like this can help inspire the rest of your teammates.
Absolutely. A good leadoff hitter will do this all the time, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Does it again. Spoils a pitch there from Luke Coughlin. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. The left-handed hitter is back in now. That pitch is high. So it's a full count now as Jardine works the count back in his favor. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get something started for New Brunswick here in the 3rd inning. They are trailing 9-0. Swings and misses it. It gets away from the catcher. Jardine hustles down to first, and he will reach on a 3rd strike. So it is a strikeout, but Jardine will now be on first base, and that will big up the shortstop, Julien Bourgeois. 3rd strikeout of the game that New Brunswick has swung into. It's the first since Luke Coughlin came into the game, but it's a strikeout that ends up with a base runner, which can happen in baseball. Coughlin's pitch to Bourgeois is in there for a strike, 0-1. Bourgeois was a strikeout victim of Caden Doyle back in the 1st inning. He's 0-1. Coughlin's 0-1 pitch is hit hard. That's to the second baseman. They'll go over to shortstop, Colby Huggan, to record the force out at second base, and the inning is over. So they strand a runner, New Brunswick does. They had a walk, a strikeout, but they hit into a double play, and they are turned away. 3 innings complete here at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. It is Prince Edward Island 9, New Brunswick no score. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. On to the 4th inning now in Oshawa, Ontario, at Kinsman Stadium. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs. Group B action between New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island at the Ray Carter Cup. Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships. This is the last round robin game for each team. Prince Edward Island with 4 runs in the first, 4 runs in the second, and 1 in the third to jump out to a 9-0 lead here over New Brunswick. We will go to the top of the 4th. It'll be Brandon Langley coming to the plate, the EH, the extra hitter for PEI. He is 0-1 in the ball game. He walked in the first and scored. First pitch from Waylon Matchett is a strike. Taken. 0-1. Swing and a miss there from Langley. It's 0-2.
Well, from our view there, he took his head right off that off-speed pitch.
Waylon Matchett came on late in the second inning. As that pitch is fouled and it spins, and no, it looked like it's spinning like a top, and now it's picked up by the catcher, Mikhail Logier, in foul territory, but it looked like it was going to spin back into fair territory, in which case he would have had a play.
That was pretty funny. He kind of just stood over the top and made sure, is he going to go fair or is he going to stay foul? Fair, foul, fair, foul.
It had the right rotation. It just got caught in a bit of dirt there and did not roll back into fair territory. So it's still 0-2. Swing and a miss from Brandon Langley. That's the first out of the inning and the second strikeout of the game for Waylon Matchett. So Luke Coughlin will come now into the batters. For his first at bat of the ball game, he replaced the starting pitcher, Caden Doyle. He looks at ball one from Waylon Matchett. That pitch is in there for a strike. A ball and a strike to Luke Coughlin. The second pitcher of the game for PEI here in this game against New Brunswick. That pitch misses, 2-1. Matchett came on with 2 out in the second inning for New Brunswick. There's the 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes, looking for his third consecutive strikeout here. The left-handed hitter steps back in. Matchett's pitch is put into play to the second baseman and thrown over to first. Max Jardine making the play there, throwing it to Nicolas Bourque, and it's the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down, and that'll bring up Miles Grant, the left fielder. So Waylon Matchett settling in just a little bit here now, Jake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks like he's really finding his groove out there right now.
Pitch to Miles Grant is high for ball 1. Grant in this game is 2 for 2. He has a single and a double and a run scored. Pitch is high, up around the neck. Count goes to 2-0.
And I think also sort of emphasize for viewers at home, Watchett is throwing hard.
Yeah, you can really hear the thud of the ball coming into the glove there as Mikhail Logier receives those pitches. There is a lot of pop on it. Count is 3-0 now to Miles Grant, and that ball is low, ball 4. So it's a 4-pitch walk for Miles Grant. He's on base for the 3rd time in 3 tries in this ball game with 2 out, and that will bring up the catcher, number 6, Sam Worth.
You know, that brings up a good point. Between games, you and I were talking, Brian, how much harder it looks. Because instead of the regular 6 feet, as most teams play at, they're at 54 feet this time, making everything so much harder, making the pitch look that much faster.
That pitch is high and inside as Sam Worth has to duck away from it. 1-0 now as 5 straight balls from Waylon Matchett. 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Swing and a miss there, so a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch takes something off that just a little bit, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sam Worth. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game, has a single and reached on a fielder's choice in the first. His 2 RBIs in the game. He swings and misses there for strike 3. So third strikeout of the inning, third strikeout of the game and second of the inning for Waylon Matchett. And Prince Edward Island, for the first time in this game, fails to score in an inning. So we go to the bottom of the 4th in just a moment from now. It is 9-0 Prince Edward Island over New Brunswick. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Heading to the bottom of the fourth inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario, as Group B action continues here at the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships. Prince Edward Island taking on New Brunswick here as the fourth inning, bottom of the fourth inning comes to New Brunswick as they come to the plate. The leadoff hitter will be Waylon Matchett. He came on in relief of Dmitry Shikatko, the starting pitcher for New Brunswick, and this will be his first at-bat of the ball game. Luke Coughlin is the second pitcher of the ball game for PEI. He came on in the third, gave up a walk, but was helped out by a double play by his defense and a nice play by Colby Huggan to keep the score 9-0. No runs, one hit for New Brunswick so far. 9 runs and 10 hits for PEI. Matchett hits that ball hard to right field, but it's sky high. Nolan Stewart hauls that in on the right fielder's side of the outfield, and it's one away. Third baseman now coming up, Ryan Galbraith.
Can't do much better than that. One pitch, one out.
Yeah, very efficient from a pitching standpoint. So Waylon Matchett goes back to the dugout, and it will be the cleanup hitter, Ryan Galbraith. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flied out to right field in the first inning. New Brunswick with just one hit in the ball game so far. Sam Worth is going to go out and chat with his pitcher now. Make sure they have their signals straight. Looks like they do now, and he'll come back to home plate. Count is 0-1 to Ryan Galbraith. New Brunswick batting here in the home half of the fourth inning, trailing PEI 9-0. And now Sam Worth is going to come over to the dugout here on the right side of the field, right by our broadcast location. So he's visited the pitcher, visited the dugout. Now he's going to go back to the plate. I think we're ready to go here now.
Not sure what the discussion was. Maybe it's a pitch selection here, but.
Well, there's a pitch in for a strike. Count is 0-2 to Ryan Galbraith.
I think at this point it's fastball until they can do something with it.
Swing and a miss. Ball is in the dirt as Galbraith tries to get to first, and he is out at first as Sam Worth collects that ball and fires it down to Declan Campbell, who steps on first to complete the strikeout. So that is strikeout number 4 in the game for New Brunswick, and that'll bring up Nicolas Bourque, the first baseman. Number 27 looks at a pitch high for ball 1. He has New Brunswick's only hit of the ball game so far. That came leading off the second inning. He tried to score on an error in right field. That ball is lifted to the left side, and it's going to drop just in front of Miles Grant, the left fielder, who gave it a shot but came down too fast on him. Nicolas Bourque singled in the second inning, and later in that inning, Zachary Duguay hit a ball to right field that was dropped in right field. Nicolas Bourque tried to score all the way from first base, and he was thrown out at the plate by Nolan Stewart. That kept the game scoreless for New Brunswick. Bourque swings and fouls that one. The count goes to 1-2. So any momentum that New Brunswick would have had kind of evaporated right there with that play at the plate in the second inning.
Yeah, PI is doing a really good job of squashing any effort there is there.
Well, guess what? Bourque has his second hit of the ball game as he hits that one past the pitcher and right up the middle over the second base bag. And it's a 2-out base wrap for Bourque. Runner at first with 2 away, and it'll bring up the right fielder, Drew Lenahan.
Who knows, though? Maybe this can kind of turn around and get some runs on the board for them.
Lenahan is the number 6 hitter in the lineup for New Brunswick, as they will throw back to get Bourque diving back into first base. First pitch coming now to Drew Lenahan. No, not
balk.
coming. And we see a balk called as Luke Coughlin. No, it's not a balk. I guess time was called before the balk was called. So time was called as there was a bit of uncertainty there. So no balk and no pitch. Luke Coughlin will come to the plate. That ball is in the dirt. It hits the catcher in the foot. They'll throw it down to second, and Bourque is in there. Just in there. He did not slide. A really good throw by Sam Worth. Almost got Bourque going to second.
I thought for a second after he touched second base, he kind of came off the bag.
So Bourque now in scoring position for New Brunswick. With 2 away, count as 1 ball and no strikes to Drew Lenahan. That ball is popped up, sky high. Who's got it? Third baseman has it. Chris McDougall catches it to end the inning. So once again, New Brunswick strands a base runner, and we've played 4 innings here at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. It's a 9-0 lead for Prince Edward Island. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV.
Bienvenue tout le monde à la Coupe de Ray Carter 2017-9. Aujourd'hui, c'est l'équipe de Nouveau-Brunswick et l'équipe de Prince Edward Island. Maintenant, pour l'équipe Prince Edward Island, c'est 9 et pour l'équipe de Nouveau-Brunswick, c'est 0.
Thank you, Jake. Going to the 5th inning here. As Jake mentions, a 9-0 lead for Prince Edward Island here, top of the 5th inning at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Jacob Ebbs. As the first batter of the 5th inning for Prince Edward Island is the right fielder, Nolan Stewart. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Waylon Matchett is the pitcher for New Brunswick, and that pitch is high for ball 1. 1-1. Prince Edward Island with 4 runs in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third to get to the 9-0 lead here as we play in the 5th inning. That ball is hit hard to right field. It's a base hit past the first baseman, and it's another hit for Prince Edward Island as they continue to hit the ball very, very hard. Colby Huggan now scheduled to come up. And he will be, Jacob Dunn's going to come in now, playing it short for Colby Huggan, who started the game. So number 38, Jacob Dunn now at the plate. Looks at a pitch outside, ball 1. That ball is popped to the left side. Playable for the third baseman, and just making a snow cone kind of catch there was Ryan Galbraith, as the wind playing tricks sometimes with these high pop-ups at Kinsman Stadium. Brings it in for the out, so Jacob Dunn is retired. There's one away. There's no such thing as a sure pop-up when you're playing defense. You just never know.
No, absolutely not. Even the ones that look as clean as day, they'll take like an evil turn on you.
That ball is hit to the third baseman and drawn off the bag. Ryan Galbraith made an outstanding play to come up with the ball at third base as a rocket was hit by Grayson Laporte. And Galbraith threw it on to second. It looked like they might have a force-out play, but Julien Bourgeois was drawn off the bag. So it's an infield hit, or a fielder's choice, I guess, for Grayson Laporte. Runners at first and second now with one away. That ball is popped up again.
Pop-up.
That's an infield fly. It is caught by the second baseman, Max Jardine, for the second out of the innings. The immediately called infield fly there. On infield fly, of course, the batter is automatically out. So Declan Campbell, the leadoff hitter, will come up now for the 4th time in the ball game. And he will look at a ball, 1-0. Declan Campbell has a couple of hits in this ball game, 2 for 3. And he's now 3 for 4 as that ball is hit over the second baseman. That is going to score Nolan Stewart with the 10th run of the ball game. PEI now leading 10-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. An RBI single for Declan Campbell.
Another great piece of hitting by Campbell there. Rocketed right back up the middle. If I am any other team watching this game, knowing that I'm either going to be playing tonight or tomorrow, I would be afraid of the offense capabilities of PEI.
PEI certainly putting up the runs. 10 runs in this game, now 41 runs scored in the tournament in their 5 games. Chris McDougall, the batter now for PEI, and that ball is hit to the right side, and it is out of play. So that's a strike. Waylon Matchett, the pitcher, will get the ball back in here. It's a 1-1 count to Chris McDougall. 1 run in here for PEI here in the top of the 5th inning, and they have a 10-0 lead. Chris McDougall is 1 for 3 in the ball game. That ball is a foul ball as it just goes down the third base line. Ryan Galbraith tried to come up with it just before it went foul, and probably good for New Brunswick in that case that it did go foul, because it would have been a very tough play at first. So it's now a 1-2 count to Chris McDougall. As mentioned, he singled in the first inning and scored, and he's struck out twice. First and second here for PEI in the top of the 5th, 1 run in. It's a 10-0 ball game. That ball is chopped into left field over the shortstop, and that's a base hit. As didn't really get all of it. It was sort of a partial swing, but he got enough of it and golfed it out into the center field. A base hit, and the bases are loaded. And that's going to bring up Brandon Langley, the EH, the extra hitter.
Now batting extra hitter number 32, Brandon Langley.
You know, we made a good point maybe 20 minutes ago about, you know what, you could hit the ball as hard as possible, and sometimes it may not work out for you. That right there, he just put the bat right onto the ball and got a base hit.
First pitch to Brandon Langley is high. Count is 1-0. 10-0 is the lead for PEI here, playing in the top of the 5th inning. Bases loaded, 2 out. That pitch misses, 2-0. Waylon Matchett, nowhere to put Brandon Langley here. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's fouled back, 2-1. Big cut by Langley there.
That was not a, you know, a simple base hit swing. That was, I'm going to put it over the 352 sign.
Langley is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Walked and scored in the 4-run first inning for PEI. The 2-1 pitch is in there for strike 2, taken. Two balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded here for PEI in the top of the 5th. Matchett's pitch is fouled away. Wind blowing out to left field. Pretty strong wind right now, actually.
Yep.
Opposite from what we've seen all weekend long. Matchett's pitch, the 2-2 is in the dirt. Blocked nicely by Mikhail Logier.
And now the runners will be on the move, 3-2.
Full count pitch here from Waylon Matchett is lifted high. It's popped up to second base. Max Jardine is under it. He's got it for the 3rd out of the inning. So PEI scores 1 to make it a 10-0 game. They strand 3. There were a couple of 3 hits in this inning. We've played 4.5 innings here at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. It is Prince Edward Island 10, New Brunswick no score. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Going to the bottom of the 5th inning here, New Brunswick trailing 10-0. And a mercy rule situation would apply here if New Brunswick is not able to score in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brandon Langley now playing center field for Prince Edward Island, replacing Owen Lynch. The new pitcher for PEI is Will Morrison. Will Morrison will come into the game here to try and close things out if they can maintain a 10-run lead. Will Morrison of Charlottetown goes to Colonel Gray Senior High. And he will face Noah Wall, the EH. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 to the EH Noah Wall. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game with a strikeout.
With New Brunswick with their back being against the wall, it would be all small ball at this point. I'd be trying to maybe drag bunt here, just any way to get on. Crowd the plate, do something.
Big cut by Noah Wall, but he fouls it back. 0-2. Again, Will Morrison on the mound now, hoping to close things out for PEI with a 10-run lead here in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Noah Wall down on strikes for the 2nd time today. 1 away. That'll bring up the left fielder, number 11, Zachary Duguay. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He reached on an error on a fly ball to right field back in the 2nd inning that was lost in the sun by the right fielder. And he reached, and on that same play, Nicolas Bourque, who was on first, tried to score all the way from first and was thrown out at the plate by that right fielder to end the inning. And a scoring threat. New Brunswick, that's as close as they've come to scoring so far in the ball game. So Duguay will look at the first pitch, comes inside tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Michael Loger is the catcher, and he's on deck for New Brunswick. Everybody up in the New Brunswick dugout right now as they hope to get something going, get something on the board here in the bottom of the 5th. Check swing from Duguay. Didn't go. Count is 2-0. Will Morrison with the 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike, 2-1. No runs on just 2 hits for New Brunswick in this ball game. Both hits by Nicolas Bourque, the first baseman. The 2-1 pitch is inside. It gets away from the catcher. No damage there, no base runners. So it's 3 balls and a strike now to Zachary Duguay. Ten runs on 13 hits for Prince Edward Island. The 3-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Duguay was hoping, against hope, that was ball 4. Looked pretty good from our angle here, Jake.
Yeah, you know, that looked at about thigh high. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that one.
Morrison's 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Will Morrison here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and that will bring up Michael Loger. He walked back in the 3rd inning in his only plate appearance of the game so far. Prince Edward Island leading 10-0 here. 10-0 is the score. Fouled back, out of play. Loger down 0-1 to Will Morrison. At the Ray Carter Cup, the scoring rules are a 10-run lead after 5 innings would be a mercy rule, and the game would come to a close if New Brunswick is not able to score. Loger swings and misses at strike 2. Off speed there.
Not bad for a guy who doesn't, on the stat sheet, doesn't seem to pitch.
It'll be an 0-2 pitch to Loger. It is popped up, and giving chase with Sam Worth. It goes over the fence behind home plate, and we'll do it again. Will Morrison on the mound for PEI. They lead 10-0. 4 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, and 1 in the 5th to build that big lead. The 0-2 pitch swung and a missed for strike 3. He strikes out the side. No runs. Nobody left on base. 5 complete, and that's the ball game because it is the mercy rule in effect. A 10-run lead for PEI, and Prince Edward Island completes the round robin with a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. They will advance to tonight's quarterfinal game against the host Oshawa Legionnaires here at Kinsman Stadium, scheduled for 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Atlantic Time. For our viewers in PEI, PEI will be playing in that quarterfinal game against Oshawa tonight at 8 o'clock Atlantic Time. So a 4-1 record for PEI. With the loss, New Brunswick falls to 1 win and 4 losses in round-robin play. Teams are shaking hands here, and we'll have the player of the game presentations in just a moment. But Prince Edward Island, 41 runs scored in the tournament so far. They've come to play. They've got the bats. They've done exceptionally well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? This is every year. You know, we've seen just one team that is just an absolute offensive powerhouse, and this year it looks like it's PEI. So I guess all teams beware. PEI is coming to play.
They remind me a little bit of Saskatchewan from last year's tournament.
Absolutely, that's what I was thinking.
Saskatchewan last year was the semi-finalist. Nicolas Bourque is the player of the game for New Brunswick. He had both of New Brunswick's 2 hits in this game. Declan Campbell went 3 for 4, scored a run, knocked in a couple of runs, and he is the player of the game for Prince Edward Island. But yes, last year in the tournament, Saskatchewan was a hard-hitting team, and they rode that all the way to the championship game and lost in extra innings to Ontario right here at Kinsman Stadium.
Yep.
And they were up in the extra inning by a run and were unable to hold it and lost in a walk-off to Team Ontario. So Saskatchewan last year were the semi-finalists, Ontario the defending champion. British Columbia was the bronze medal winner last year here at the Ray Carter Cup. So that will give Prince Edward Island a couple of hours now to prepare for tonight's game here at Kinsman Stadium, and it should be a dandy game.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
The hometown host team, the Oshawa Legionnaires, will play host to Prince Edward Island in a quarterfinal game with a semi-final berth on the line in tomorrow's final day of action here at the Ray Carter Cup. So that's going to do it here for us from Kinsman Stadium as we see the teams go to their corners, and things will be quiet here for a little while, and we'll look forward to having you join us for tonight's quarterfinal game. Again, 7 o'clock Eastern start, 8 o'clock Atlantic time between Oshawa and Prince Edward Island. Any final thoughts here, Jake?
No, you know what? This was, again, another showing that PEI has come out to play, and realistically, we hope to see you at 7 o'clock because it is going to be one heck of a game.
So we hope you will join us then, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Atlantic. It'll be Prince Edward Island against the host Oshawa Legionnaires in a quarterfinal game here at Kinsman Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. That will do it. For Jacob Ebbs, this is Brian Oliver. Thanks for joining us again. The final score, 10-0 for Prince Edward Island over New Brunswick. Good afternoon from Oshawa.